Elon Musk, $56 billion. There's a couple things going on right now with Elon Musk. One is Musk says Tesla shareholders voting yes for his $56 billion pay package, which is great to hear. And that's what date? What date is that? That's
June
the 13th, 8:32 a.m. This is 2 hours ago. This just happened, right? That I'm saying most likely he's going to get his $56 billion. That's great to hear that this is taking place. However, there's something going on because Apple launched, they introduced their Apple Intelligence AI, and Elon Musk threatens a ban with Apple. Now, why is this taking place? Because just recently, he had a meeting with Larry Ellison, and apparently the conversation was that, hey, if there's anybody you don't want to go war with, it's Apple. You guys got to have a good relationship because you have to download the app, X, all this stuff. There's got to be a solid relationship. But at its 2024 Worldwide Developers Conference, Apple announced a system-wide AI upgrade that will give users access to personalized generative AI. The new Siri will be able to take action inside apps, figure out context clues, and more easily learn natural language. Siri will also begin to work with OpenAI ChatGPT, and app developers are being invited to create with the new AI tools. SpaceX founder Elon Musk said he would ban Apple device at his companies if they were to integrate OpenAI and Apple operating systems. Many tech experts have been hoping that Apple would integrate AI developer tools to iOS, especially because it would give the AI tools access to a wealth of personal information. The Wall Street Journal says this is thought to be the holy grail of AI. Tom.
So there's a couple of things that Apple did. First thing Apple did is says, hey, we have a deal with OpenAI, and we're putting GPT 4.0 into Siri. And this is the way it works. Hey, Siri, find me this. And Siri says, I don't find it completely, but with your permission, we'll go deeper. And that is where the OpenAI is allowed to go in. Second, what they did is they put a lot of AI tools on here, and there's a lot of criticism that they're about to put a lot of smaller companies out of business or make their app, redundant, such as Grammarly. People love Grammarly because it helps you write, in Word, and helps you write in emails quicker and with correct grammar, professional. Well, that's now built in to the iPhone. And so they're like, well, there, you don't need Grammarly anymore because they put GPT and OpenAI. And what Elon Musk was making a very important distinction. AI as a tool on your phone that you can opt in and out, like on Siri. You don't have to take the GPT extension to Siri. You can say, no, I just want Siri and I don't want anything to happen. You can do that. What Musk is saying is if they integrate it with the OS, meaning when you get those notices on your phone, it's time to upgrade to 14.6. It'll be done tonight. Has to download. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he says if it's in there, then it's permeating the phone. And Musk's argument is you have no personal data security. Mm-hmm. That is Musk's specific argument. I particularly think he's right. Larry Ellison thinks he's right too, but wants us to go lightly. But get what he's saying, Pat. That's what he's saying. If you put, OpenAI into the OS where it kind of controls and does everything, that's bad. If you merely put ChatGPT in there and you can use it if you want to, maybe that's good.
What did Ellison say?
So Ellison is quietly backing up Musk because when Musk speaks on this, he's conferred with Larry. I have not seen direct quotes from Larry, but Larry is on record about OSs versus tools. I mean, he built the big database.
Let me ask you a question. How is Ellison's relationship with Tim Cook?
Ellison's a database guy, so Oracle does compete with Apple on a certain level, but Oracle is actually more worried about large database like Google and Microsoft. If you look,
I'm just curious, are Larry Ellison and Tim Cook friends? Tom, I'm just asking you. Don't worry about looking it up. Like from what you know, do you know if they're friends?
I think they're colleagues, but I've never seen like a big golden handshake on stage.
Okay, so there you go. So then that means no. 2 years after the death of Steve Jobs, Oracle CEO Larry Ellison claimed it was inevitable Apple would struggle under Tim Cook. You only had to look at what he said, what happened to the company in the period after Jobs was ousted in 1985. We already know. We conducted the experiment, Ellison told talk show host Charlie Rose in 2013. His fingers straight. Okay, this is very old story. This is 11 years ago. But the point is, I think, I wonder what the relationship is there. I also wonder part of it, Tom, where maybe, obviously his relationship with Sam Altman. Would you say that's a good relationship or a rocky relationship?
Well, I think they supported Sam during the board fiasco, but I think Sam is kind of running down the street ahead of everybody right now.
Play this clip, Rob.
OpenAI exists.
How much money did you give them?
I'm not sure the exact number, but it's some number on the order of $50 million. The whole man, fate loves irony, next level. So I used to be close friends with Larry Page, and I would stay at his house, and we'd have these conversations long into the evening about AI, and I would be constantly urging him to be careful about the danger of AI, and he was really not concerned about the danger of AI and was quite cavalier about it, and at the time, Google, especially after their acquisition of DeepMind, had 3/4 of the world's AI talent. They had obviously a lot of computers and a lot of money. So it was a unipolar world for AI. And we've got a unipolar world, but the person who controls that does not, or at least did not seem to be concerned about AI safety. That sounded like a real problem. So, and then the final straw was Larry calling me a speciesist for being pro-human consciousness instead of
humanist
machine consciousness. And I'm like, well, yes, I guess I am. I am a speciesist.
So you helped to the creation of OpenAI. You put in as much as $50 million.
So I want to read this.
help.
Elon Musk drops lawsuit against OpenAI accusing ChatGPT owner of abandoning mission. Okay? This is a different story. He is accusing Sam Altman of abandoning the original mission of developing AI for the benefit of humanity, not for profit. The lawsuit alleged that OpenAI set the founding agreement aflame by releasing ChatGPT 4 and focused on profit. Musk sought to compel OpenAI to make its research public and prevent it from using assets like ChatGPT 4 for financial gain. Attorneys for Musk requested the dismissal of the lawsuit in San Francisco Superior Court without providing a reason, but it was dismissed without prejudice, meaning Musk could refile it later. OpenAI attorneys described the lawsuit as a contrived attempt by Musk to advance his own AI interests, arguing it was based on incoherent claims and Musk's desire to capitalize on OpenAI's success. Okay, so question on this, Tom. Do you think behind closed doors, didn't he just raise $6 billion? Yeah, right there. Okay, Musk, that's right. So Musk founded his own AI startup, xAI, which raised $6 billion in Series B funding in May, reaching a post-money valuation of $24 billion. Okay, so do you think behind closed doors, there were certain promises and negotiations made between Elon and maybe Tim Cook and maybe others, and maybe the speed of implementation, that maybe the deals are not being kept, that's kind of pissing them off the way it is? Or do you think it's just very exactly what we see, exactly what we read, that's what it's all about?
Yeah, and I'll go through it really, really quick. Musk said at the end of that interview something that he had repeated before. He said, I thought that the only thing that could compete with Google was a massively open AI where everything was open and all the tools would be available for everybody. He said that would blunt Google's black box for profit. So you can see what he felt there about Larry Page saying, no, the only thing that can defeat Google is this, go open, go big and open. Then he goes with, after the weekend from hell, where they fired Sam Altman for a minute, but then he came back, and even Elon Musk was putting in the weight in there, saying, "Hey, there's motivations on that board. They shouldn't have done this," and things like that. I think he wanted OpenAI to go down a certain path. I also think Elon kind of has a competitive element because he's building things. Self-drive, FSD, full self-driving is AI. That is a form of AI, a fairly sophisticated form of AI. And so he's building that into all the Tesla, and he's gotten FSD to be better than these taxi things, some of whom are having to be closed down because it doesn't work so much. So I think there's a competitive element as well.
Yeah. Adam?
Well,
A couple of things. So just to go back to the Tesla thing, because the Tesla thing is the biggest thing out there. AI, we understand, and I have some comments on that. But today's the day that they're going to be holding this shareholder vote, right? So the question that is going to be asked of shareholders is, does Elon Musk deserve this $46 billion? We talked about this last week. Today's the day. So here's some details of this pay package. The shareholders are going to have a vote, and they're going to decide what should be done here. Here's some feedback for you. Just talk about how casual Elon Musk is. If you just look at his Twitter, this is on the Wall Street Journal as well. He goes, "Hey guys, please take a moment to vote for your Tesla shares before the annual meeting on Thursday." Pretty casual. And then Kathy Wood, we know, ARK Investments, she basically says, she lays it all out. Here it is. She goes, "Look, I'd like to argue that no other executive is as aligned with shareholders as Elon Musk, who committed to, ready, no salary, no bonus, no stock compensation for 10 years.
Damn.
10 years he took nothing and said, I'm going to bet on myself, and he would receive no money unless he created tremendous value for Tesla. So I'll let you guys be the judge of this. You tell me if this guy created massive value for Tesla. So if you want to go back to 2018, 6 years ago, $53 billion was the market cap when he did this deal and put this whole thing together, I guess. 53 billion. The market cap, the stock price at that point was $20. Fast forward to today, the market cap is 600 billion. Wow. It used to be 53 billion. Now it's 600 billion. Stock price of today is 183. I think at one point, Tom, correct me, it was over $1 trillion market cap. It's obviously come down some since 2023. They've had a bad quarter. But if you just want to look at the actual facts here, this dude bet on himself, took no money, took no salary, took no bonus, took no compensation other than give me stock options, give me equity in the company, let me go to work. Did he earn it? Yes or no? Obviously he did. And what's going to happen is, this is in Delaware, I believe, because a lot of corporations incorporate in Delaware. Do you hear what he said? He goes, if they rule against me, I don't think any corporation should ever go incorporate in Delaware again.
Two things here real fast. A 15% bonus would be completely reasonable bonus. That's what he's asking for. And you don't like the number because it sounds so mammoth, but that's all you're giving him. You're giving him like a 15, 17% bonus over that amount of time where he took no bonus. The second thing that's being voted on today, ladies and gentlemen, is moving the incorporation to Texas. That is in front of the shareholders today. It's one of, I think, 4 motions or nominated elements that the shareholders are voting on.
Yeah. And the
major screw up on Delaware, because Delaware, everybody you would go and talk to, pretty much majority of the people, that when you wanted to incorporate a business, they would say, you should do it in Delaware. You should do it in Delaware.
The laws are good.
You should do it in Delaware. Not anymore. This is a bad look for Delaware.
Not up in here.
So if you're out there doing your part as a father, you know, picking up your responsibilities, not giving it up to somebody else to do. You wake up every single morning thinking about how to raise better kids, thinking about how to raise better future leaders in the world. I applaud you. I respect you. I want to tell you what we're doing this weekend, Rob. If you want to pull it up, we just launched a new wallet. This is a wallet I've been wearing for almost 6 months. This is the only, I gave up my Fendi wallet. I gave up all the fancy wallets. I wear the Valuetainment wallet. I have it in brown and I have it in black. And this is how it works. You got cash in here. You put it very easy. Your ID here. You pull it out. Credit card comes out. It's very simple. I keep my cards here, my credit cards here. This is all I need. It's leather. Valuetainment officially launched. We have a limited supply. It will sell out just like the numbered hat sold out a couple weeks ago. Anybody for Father's Day that orders one of these wallets gets a free hat, Future Looks Bright hat, for free. So place the order, limited supplies. You place the order brown or black, you get a hat being sent your way as well. If you have a father, you want to gift them something, gift them this wallet with the hat. And if you're married, watching this, to all the ladies watching this, your husband loves the PBD podcast, order them this wallet for Father's Day and get a hat on top of it for free. Rob, they can go to vtmerch.com to see it. And this is where the link is at. Rob, let's make sure we put the link below as well. For those of you that are watching the Spotify and Apple, go to vtmerch.com for the entire weekend of Father's Day. This will be there. However, I'm telling you, we don't have a lot of these. This is a few hundred of these wallets that we have. They'll be gone in no time.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.
Here's a brand new, better way to sell your house. So if you're thinking about selling anywhere within about an hour of Halifax.
Tesla. Okay, let's go through this. Tesla CEO Elon Musk says he opposes EV tax incentives, tariffs on Chinese EVs. Why would he say such a thing? Let's go through it. Rob, is this a video? Yes. Go ahead and play this clip. Go for it.
In favor of no tariffs. I'm also actually in favor of no tax incentives for EVs, but provided that there are also the tax incentives for oil and gas must also be eliminated. So I'm in favor of no tariffs and no incentives for electric vehicles or for oil and gas. And if they're all taken away, I think that would be for the best.
So it's back to what you were saying about truth. You want the truth of the price?
I think generally things that inhibit freedom of exchange or distort the market are not good.
Okay, you're saying that, right? Now keep this in mind. Tom, while he's saying this, talking about the EV market, just 10 years ago, you know what America's tariff was on anybody trying to sell cars in U.S.? So think about BMW Germany. Think about Toyota Japan. Think about China trying to sell a car here, right? Okay. What do you think the tariff was? Do you know the number on
what
this?
What year?
10 years ago. Pre-Trump.
23%. I don't think it was a tariff.
There is a tariff, but what do you think the number was?
Very minimal.
Give me the number.
5%.
2.5%.
Yeah. I went crazy.
Trump took it from 2.5% on China to what? 25%.
I said 23.
Do you know what Biden just did? What? Can you pull this up, Rob? Put Biden, China, tariffs, 100%. Okay? So Biden just did this.
100%?
100% tariff. That's 2 weeks ago. 100% tariff rate on EVs will protect American manufacturers from China's unfair trade practices. This action advances President Biden's vision of ensuring the future of the auto industry will be made in America by American workers. So check this out. He makes this 100% tariff. 4x is what Trump did.
Wow.
Now, why would he do this? Have you guys heard of BYD? Have you heard about the BYD cars?
The Seagull.
Okay, Rob, go to BYD. So this is China's BYD car, okay? If you go to BYD, this is their car. Okay, this is what they build, okay? Rob, can you go to cheapest BYD car price? Cheapest BYD car price. Look at this, $9,700.
What?
Yes.
The Seagull.
Its starting price is $9,700, which is about 5% cheaper than a previous model. Their cars are getting cheaper, Vinny. The new BYD Seagull has 30 kilowatts and battery, good for 190 miles, and 252 is the next one, but it's $9,700. And comparable to our cheapest EV that we have, which is $35,000, they're nearly 4 times cheaper than us. 4 times cheaper than us. So now, if the tariff is at 25% only, and they bring this car to U.S. to sell, you know how much he's going U.S.? $12,300. Okay?
Still a great deal.
It's nothing compared to what we have.
Oh, man.
But even 100%, if they put 100% tariff, these cars are coming here and they're going to sell it for $19,400. So when Elon is saying this, I want to read this to you from 2 people. One is from Elon. So check this out. Elon Musk said this is Chinese car companies were the most competitive and will have significant success outside of China. Keyword he uses, depending on what kind of tariffs or trade barriers are established. Listen to his words, Rob, if you can just literally right there. Chinese automakers were the most competitive and will have significant success outside of China, depending on what kind of tariffs or trade barriers are established. He said this 4 days ago. When did Biden put that 100% tariff? May 15th. What's today's date? The 28th. So he said this on the 24th, 9 days after Biden puts the 100% EV tariff on there. And by the way, do you guys know right now, I have to show you this chart. And by the way, let me go to another one for you. CEO of Stellantis. Tom, can you tell everybody who Stellantis is? Because most people don't know who Stellantis is.
Chrysler. It's the new way to pronounce Chrysler as of 2 years ago. They kind of rebranded.
Look what he says.
Daimler Chrysler.
The entire industry is worried about the magnitude of what Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares calls it, ready? The China offensive. Companies that can't match China's low-cost EVs are going to be, ready? Keywords. In an existential problem. Told Bloomberg. Tavares told Bloomberg. An existential problem. These guys are worried because we can't make the cars as cheap as they make it. We can't. We can't make the cars.
All the stuff because everything's coming from China. All the parts.
Well, this is the reason that manufacturing was outsourced.
I got a bunch of charts I'll show, but I'll go to you guys right now. Give me your thoughts on this, and I'll continue with this.
Look, at the end of the day, I mean, what do you say about capitalism, Pat? You have the freedom to buy, the freedom to sell, the freedom to try, and the freedom to fail.
Yes.
The reason that all these trade agreements and outsourcing and manufacturing is because they'll work for nothing in China. They get child labor. They got no labor laws. They go, what's going on? I mean, Matt, how much would you pay for an iPhone if it was made in America? $5,000, $1,000, whatever it is. Whether it's toys, whether it's products, whatever type of goods, whatever type of pharmaceuticals, it's just cheaper in China because they're, the GDP per capita in China is like 5 to 10 grand a year, where in America it's 50, 70 grand. The reality is we're better at services, we're better at technology, better at STEM, science, tech, engineering, math. That's what we're better at. And let the people that will work for cheap, whether it's China, whether it's Mexico, whether it's India, whether it's certain parts of Southeast Asia, work for basically nothing. And I'm not surprised that, the Reagan doctrine back in the 80s, Tom, you probably know better than me, was free trade, open markets, pro-immigration, and since Trump, it's reversed. It's anti-immigration. I totally understand that with the border. It's definitely not free trade. It's tariffs. But low-key, sneaky peeky, Joe Biden is tougher on China than Trump regarding tariffs. I wasn't expecting that.
Bullshit. Let me explain. It's election year, and cars are made by the UAW. This is this tariff is attempting to win votes from the
100%.
UAW. And that is what's going on this year, number one. Number two, the Stellantis CEO is right. He called the tariff a trap. And here's why it's a trap. Not too many years ago, OPEC decided to reduce the price of oil on a worldwide level to squeeze very specifically the North Dakota shale and the Alberta, Canada oil sands because they were beginning to pull oil out of those other types of resources as opposed to just large oil pools that live under Saudi Arabia. In other words, this oil that was in North Dakota and Alberta was harder to get out. Well, guess what? They needed oil around $55 a barrel or so to make it profitable. So the Saudis said, I'm going to keep oil all the way down at $45. Remember that? Under 50. So that made it economically infeasible for North America to get that kind of oil. Guess what happened? Innovation struck, capitalism struck, and they said, well, if it's going to be $55, if it's going to be $45, we got to work on it. And they actually got to the point where they took about 12 to 15% off the extraction cost because capitalist inventions stepped forward. So guess what? The Saudis tried to trap it, and now we can get oil sands out of Alberta, and we can get the shale out of North Dakota even better. What does that mean? The Stellantis CEO is right. He said, this is a trap. Let's put the pressure on ourselves to do it better, to do it cheaper, and to get it done if that's going to be the way of it.
There's one problem, though, Tom. There's one problem with this, and I'm all with you because I'm all capitalist.
I don't think you can close the whole gap.
No, but hear me out. Let push back on what I'm about to say to you and find leaks on what we just found here. I want you to push back on what I'm seeing because I know you follow this closely. So can you pull up, Rob, the Q1 results of, not that one, go to Q1 results of stocks right there. This is EV stock performance in America. EV stock performance in America. Look at the lowest one. You can't find that one, can you? You see the orange one all the way at the bottom? That's Fisker.
Yeah, exactly.
Fisker is down 98% for the year.
Oh, man.
Vinny, did you hear? Q1. Fisker is down 98%. Look at Rivian, down 48%. Can you zoom in on all this stuff on the right? We can see the numbers better for the audience. Zoom in a little bit. It won't allow you. Okay, there you go. NIO is another one, down 47%. Xpeng is down 45%. Lucid is down 31%. Polestar is down 30%. VinFast is down 29%. Tesla is down 29.2%. iAuto is down minus 12.5%. And then the only one that's up 24.8% is this Nikola, which I think is a hydrogen driving car. That's a very unique, different story that's going on there, but nothing crazy, right? So you look at this, and he said, okay, why are all these guys down, including Tesla? By the way, during the same period, I looked at to see how BYD performed, maybe to say, well, everybody is down. BYD is only down 0.5% for the years, the China car. Now, go to the next slide, Rob, if you could. So, not this one. Go to the other one. Okay, so here, this is interesting. Minerals in electrical vehicles versus gas cars. Green is what it takes to build EVs, okay? Green is the EVs, black is the gas cars, okay? So zoom in a little bit from the biggest green to the smallest green. So to build an EV, you need 66.3 kilograms of graphite, okay? Then you need 53.2 kilograms of copper. For gas, you only need 22.3 kilograms of copper for a gasoline car. For EV, you need 39.9 of nickel. You need 24.5 of manganese. Okay, you only need 11.2 kilograms for a gas. You need 13.3 of cobalt, 8.9 of lithium. Anyways, this continues, right? All these rare metals that you need. Well, guess what country, natural resources, has the most of these rare metals? Go to the next slide.
China?
Red China.
Weird.
It's not even weird. It's luck. It's got nothing to do with weird. It's like Venezuela has gold. It's like Saudi Arabia has oil. Venezuela has oil. You know, the part that is deeply concerning for me on why they're able to dominate is because they have the minerals in their country to build it so cheap. So now go to this next thing here. Historically, I want you to think about this thing here. Rob, don't pull this up yet. I don't want them to see it. Historically, look at me here. Historically, Tom, Vinny, Adam, me, all of us, when we think about a automaker internationally selling a car in America and dominating, what company do we think about?
One of the most important thing when you own an EV is the charging speed, and EV6 is the king of it.
The EV6 was the first one that I could afford that didn't sacrifice my lifestyle.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Porsche,
Volkswagen, Toyota, Nissan,
Ferrari.
Okay. Where is Volkswagen from?
Germany.
Okay. Where is Toyota from?
Japan.
Tell me a single car that's ever come to U.S. from China that's dominated. Tell me one single car.
Honestly, I don't know.
I don't think so.
That's the point, because they can't compete on the gasoline side.
Oh, got you.
But they can in EV. So watch this number that I just saw. This next chart may give you the chills, because this is probably the most scariest chart out of all of them, that the next one that he's going to pull up. Go ahead and pull it up. Check this out. Zoom in. This is from 2010 to 2024. China cars are heading mostly to new drivers in emerging markets. Look at this. 2010, China's last place. 11, last place. 12, last place. Last place, last place. 2020, they pass up U.S., and we're declining. They pass up South Korea. Then they pass up Germany. They just passed up Japan. China is officially number one. In how many years from last to first? In less than 4 years. Look at it.
Yeah, look at 2019.
From 21, in 3 years, they went from last to first place, simply because of their EVs. And by the way, the CEO of this BYD company is being interviewed. It's a lady. And they're like, so what do you think about the fact that, U.S. is putting all these tariffs, and, what does it need to be for you guys to go to America? Because BYD's not in America yet. She says, well, in an interview, if I find a link, I'll send it to you. You should see how she talks. She talks super confidently, like she doesn't give a shit. She says, well, in order for us to do business with America, America has to create a more friendly climate, and they just don't have that right now. If they make a more friendly climate, we would love to sell our cars in America. So, Tom, you see the power they have with minerals. How do other countries compete with China when it comes onto EVs?
Well, there's a deeper question, because the number one mineral that you need is lithium. And this becomes an energy question, because you know what the greatest source of lithium on Earth is?
Don't tell me. Lithium. Afghanistan?
The ocean.
Oh.
And however,
Close.
and by the way,
Down the street.
the water crisis
Yeah.
You could desalinate the ocean, but it takes energy, lots of energy. And then you have waste products that come out. But check this out. If you go to, I think it's 5th generation, 6th generation, Pat, nukes, and you put them on the coasts, you can have all the lithium and you can have all of these desalinated water you want. It's just the will to do it. But right now, the playing field is tipped toward China on the raw materials to make EVs, the same way that in the 70s, before oil exploration and efficiency, came to, the U.S., OPEC was the supplier. So they had all that. So they could make the rules. And right now, China is going to be exporting these things all over Europe to a very willing Europe. And it's the UAW
But Tom, you see the power that they have.
Oh, it's huge market power. I'm acknowledging this is massive market power. And what you need to do, you need to have the will. Like if you were President Pat and I was your Secretary of Energy, I'd say, Pat, we need next gen nukes, and we'll have desalination. We're going to figure out the water crisis that way. And we're also going to use that incredible amount of energy to get the lithium out of seawater. And we're going to support the auto manufacturing right here in the United States.
But Tom, how much of this 100% tariff to China is going to affect the relationship with the Biden administration and China? Because if you think about it, they're obviously, he's in their pocket. The last time a president tried to, hold them accountable for taxes and tariffs, a virus came out of that same country and destroyed the world for years. So
I stand by
on that, but I want to see what Tom.
Okay. I stand by what I said, that this is an election year, number one. Mm-hmm. This is also, and by the way, you saw on that chart, all the EV companies are together. The core EV companies that are going to survive are together at 30% down. Tesla, Lucid. That's where they are. And Rivian has got its problems. Fisker has got huge problems. And that's where they are. But I think this is election year. This is the UAW, and this is protectionist policy.
Well, here's what I'll say, Vinny, because you're asking the right question. Because the last time Trump did this and put tariffs on top of tariffs on top of tariffs, he lost the election.
Yes.
And whether you want to say he got involved, China got involved, did whatever they did, who cares?
Yeah.
Xi is right now sitting down and saying, wait a minute. This guy put 100% tariff on us, and we can't negotiate with him. I can't talk to him. At least the other guy would call me and tell me, hey, just so you know, I'm about to put tariffs on you. But you may want to change your position with us, right? Yes. So who knows? China may also take a different position here and flip on him. Rob, can you play that clip of the CEO talking about why they're not coming to the States? And look, I want you to look at her and see her temperament. Okay, just see how she's answering. Is she answering confidently or nervous? Go ahead.
I don't think we don't consider U.S. market, at this time, because it's too complicated politically. You don't need necessarily to go to every market. You only go to the market you feel is ready. Everything is
that's a shot.
Waiting for you. Then that's our approach. Like one is a BYD resource. Let us focus on other markets. It's already occupy a lot of resources from us. And the second, it's not necessary for us to come to US. Maybe sometimes, but I don't see that.
Look at her.
I don't see
her
that.
Her fingers are on the Andrew Tate.
Yeah, she is. She's totally Tate.
She's in the G.
Yeah, but while you're listening to this, here's what some critics in the U.S. are saying. You ready for this, Tom? Here's what they're saying. Some critics are saying, well, China's facing deep challenges because, they're running out of inventory of the amount of people to sell cars to. What are they going to do? How many total EVs do you think have been sold in China?
Of these type of vehicles?
Total, not just any EV. That includes Tesla. How many EVs do you think exist in China? Jeez. Tom, there's 1.5 billion people there. Total number of EVs. What do you think?
That they've made over there?
No, driving.
People are using them.
I know the number. I want to know what you guys are going to say. Give me a number on what you think.
Out of how many billion?
Out of 1.5 billion. And by the way, we even looked up how many total people they have that can drive a car. It's around 530 million people
can drive
a car.
So I'm going to say 500,000
No, it's not 500,000. It's more than that.
I was going low. I thought that was going to be a trick question.
5 million of them?
21 million, 22 million.
Out of 5.
So check this out. 21, 22, what's the number right there? It's
Very low percentage.
20.4 million, okay? So 20.4 million legal plug-in passenger cars, okay? Out of the 21 EVs that they have, there's 530 million drivers. They can 25x if they wanted to go to all EVs. It's the last week to compete for the Manek contest. If you go up to the Manek contest here, if you haven't yet downloaded the app, Rob, if you want to go to some of the Manek QR codes, download the app, start asking questions, and participating with different folks that what we have going on right now. There's a couple new guys that came on that are starting to get a lot of Maneks.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.
Hellman's Real Mayonnaise. Add just a dollop of Hellman's rich and creamy mayonnaise to your burger meat for an irresistibly juicy burger. Mmm, delicious. Hellman's Mayonnaise.
In the world of electric vehicles, Tesla has reigned supreme, but its days as top dog may be numbered. In China, the world's
26% of Gen Z applicants, ready, bring their parents to the job interview. What? I can only imagine, hey, Daddy, can you go to the job interview? No. You go and buy yourself to the interview. No. Hey, please hire my son. He's such a sweet little boy. I think he would be great for your company. Please. He's such a nice guy. And, a survey by Resume Templates found that 26% of Gen Z respondents involved their parents in the job interview process, with 31% bringing a parent to an in-person interview, 29% having parents join a virtual interview of those with a parent at an in-person interview. 37% had their parent come into the office, and 26% had a parent sit in the room during the interview. In virtual interview, 71% had their parents off camera, and 29% had their parent visible, with many parents speaking directly. What?
Oh my God, that's so...
That is, I would be like, are we really doing this?
Tell them about your GPA.
Yeah.
Tell them about your...
Executive resume writer Andrew Stoner, great last name, commented, it does not signal confidence to a hiring company on behalf of the child, and recommended a help at a distance approach, advising parents to support and advise their children without direct involvement in the interview. Tom, thoughts on this crazy story?
This crazy story is focusing on the Gen Z, but I'm going to call out, you idiot parents, this is what you have done. You have turned out incapable, unprepared, emotionally anemic children you've turned out. This is on you, parents. This is on you, divorced parents that didn't find a way to come together and help your kids. This is on you who let them just dive into social media searching for likes and everything and didn't develop social skills. So when they have to do something like, oh my goodness, have an integrated conversation with somebody and talk about your skills, talk about your likes, talk about your education, and have an intelligent conversation, your kids can't do it. I put this on the parents, and I think it's shocking and horrifying that we have 21-year-old citizens that are walking out right now among us without these skills. This is on the parents.
Can you imagine, Pat? Like, listen, we're going to fire you. Go get your dad. Get your dad in here. We're going to fire you, but we want to do it in a nice...
Yeah, as a boss, what do I say? Vinny, if you're late one more time, I'm calling your mom.
No, please don't tell her. Please.
No, but I think it's the other way around. I think it's kind of like, look, we want to have a conversation with you about your 90-day review.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I have to see if my dad's available.
Yeah, Dad.
Excuse me?
My mom or my dad?
Yeah, I have to see if my dad and the mom's available.
Can they both come?
What are you talking about? To me, if I saw a parent in the interview right there just looking at, hey, Yeah, so I think my son would be you guys would be very lucky to have my son with your company. God, you know what? I will, I'll sacrifice this lucky moment of mine and give permission to many other great companies to experience this great luck of yours that you have raised.
Yeah.
Please go do that.
Yeah.
Wish you nothing but the very best in a situation like this. But as funny as this is, do you believe it with today's helicopter parents? I believe it. I believe this to be true. I believe this to be true. Adam.
Yeah, well, it's like, what's the thing you always say, Tom? People talk, but numbers scream. What is it?
I say words talk, numbers scream.
So, this is something that I find near and dear to my, because when I started doing content, it was all about millennials. And as the oldest millennial, and now I'm researching sort of Gen Z. Gen Z is basically anywhere between 25 and 15. So I'm like, okay, so 1/3 of parents are showing up to interviews. I would hope and pray that it's for the 15 to 18-year-olds, or maybe going to a job interview, and okay, you can bring the parents. But under no circumstance should you be bringing your parents to an interview. So I'm wondering, why is this happening? But the good news is 2/3 of Gen Z are not bringing their parents. So this is what happens when you start painting in broad strokes. It's like, are all Gen Z like this? Are all Gen Z emotional nitwits? Are all Gen Z kids who just can't do anything for themselves? Are they all woke, basically snowflakes? No, because we have Gen Z kids that work here. They're actually great. We've hired them. So I guess it all depends on who these kids are and what their age group is. By the way, there's 70 million Gen Z. They're the second largest generation ever. There's 2 million millennials. And the largest generation before that was baby boomers. There was 70 million. So there's a lot of young people. 2 out of every 5 people in America are either a millennial or a Gen Z. So there's a lot of young people out there. So there's going to be a lot of data that suggests they're, babies and they can't do things for themselves. But then there's this other story right here, and this is actually good news right here. Majority of Gen Z actually want to become entrepreneurs. When I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, entrepreneur wasn't even a thing. I know you said, Valuetainment is a channel for entrepreneurs. I know one of the things you'd always say is that 100% of the world's problems are going to be solved by entrepreneurs. So here's a report: 54% of Gen Zers in the U.S. want to become entrepreneurs, which is positive. So it's not just negative. They're not all just losers. They're not all just helicopter parents. They all can't just do things. They're not able to do things for themselves. There is a large coalition of Gen Zers and young people who are like, I can't do the traditional route. I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm going to become an entrepreneur. I'm going to go make my money.
I love that you said that.
Yeah.
And I love that you said that, which is looking at more on the positive than the negative, right? But here's the question I got for you. Do you think the number of helicopter parents is increasing or decreasing? Do you think the number of parents showing up in interviews is on a decline, or is it on a increase? What do you
Fortunately, it's increasing.
Yeah, that's
because it started at 0 a couple decades ago.
Who the hell would even like if 20 years ago somebody said, my mom is here for the interview, would you have believed that? For that to be at 20-some percent? I watch this, Gen Zs. Let me tell you what some of you guys are doing, which is fascinating. Gen Z plumbers and construction workers are making blue collar cool. Lexus Abreu, a 27-year electrician, has amassed 2.2 million followers on social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram, making $200,000 a year from clicks and brand deals. She notes you feel just like a normal person until you actually get confronted by people and you're like, oh my goodness, this is real. People know who I am. Enrollment in vocational programs rose 16% last year as skepticism about the cost and value of four-year college degrees grew. Influencers like Abreu are making trades appealing by highlighting high wages and success, such as we've made it more appealing. We have nice vehicles. We own homes. We are successful, says carpenter Matt Panella, who earns over
construction, are actually using the tool belt and are actually making the products that they're talking about, because the average construction worker isn't on TikTok making $200,000. But I actually love this story because we've seen what's happened since the 1980s. 40% of college students used to be women and 60% were men. Now it's completely flipped. Now men make up 40% of college students, and it's 60% that are.
Say goodbye to old, costly cable TV once and for all. This revolutionary invention gives you access to your favorite channels and movies completely free of charge. Greedy cable corporations are trying their best to outlaw it. The device.
What's up?